Kenna's like holding her staff and she's sort of backing up to protect Malcolm, but she's not saying anything. But she's definitely staring down this darkspawn. Like if it makes any move, she's gonna attack it.
The darkspawn is looking at you and looks at you carefully, and she goes, ah, ah, Avar, Avar, she says.
She's kind of shocked. She doesn't say anything. How do you? Uh, she's just stunned.
Did that darkspawn just talk? Malcolm says as he like slowly pulls down his glasses, like slowly does this with his Did that darkspawn just speak?
You heard it too. Okay, just making sure I'm not crazy.
I've never heard of a talking darkspawn before.
Neither have I, but if it makes one move towards you, I'm going to kill it, talking or not.
The darkspawn again continues to stare down, but then after a moment she takes her whip and then she puts it back behind her. Avar, Avar, she keeps saying.
What are you? What are you? How are you talking?
Sutuptaska, she points at herself. Mangdoska pa, bong dantiku, and she's pointing down to the ground. Gantuspa.
I don't understand.
She looks at you very curiously, and it's at this point that the little fennec fox that was she was feeding earlier has run up to her leg, and she looks down, and she sort of picks up the little fennec fox and cradles it in her arms, and she's stroking it, and then she looks at you with a little bit of a smile, and she says, "Choco, choco, choco." She
Fox?
will walk towards you, Choco, and she will hold the fox up to you, and the fox's little like nose starts to wiggle a little bit as he's looking up towards you, as the darkspawn is holding it up to you, as if to like to offer to for you to take it or to pet it or whatever you want to do with it.
Uh, she'll kind of place her staff against her body and then she'll apprehensively reach out for the fox and take it.
The fox goes into your arms carefully, and the darkspawn backs up a little bit, and then the fox kind of does a little bit of a sort of some more of a yelp.
No.
Choco, Choco, she says, pointing at the fox.
Is that its name? Choco. Or
She tilts her head as if she's not really sure what you're saying. She
uh,
doesn't seem to understand you either.
I can't.
Are you, are you sure she's actually a dark? I mean, she looks like a darkspawn, but maybe she's. You don't think she's a demon or anything, do you?
I don't know, Malcolm. I've never heard of a talking darkspawn. I usually don't give him time enough to talk. Uh, what should I
Hmm.
do?
I
Should I?
don't know. I mean, I'm no expert when it comes to darkspawn. She doesn't seem.
Do you,
Well, aren't you? You're an Avar, right? Don't you? Or don't Avar believe that animals can tell good people from bad people?
they can. Uh,
Well, this fox seems to believe that she's okay. Otherwise, I don't know why he would even bother to come up so close to her.
all right. I'm going to try something here. I haven't tried it before, but I've seen my mother do it a couple times. Can you just watch the evil darkspawn girl? And I'm going to put the fox sort of on top of his, like on top of the crate so I can see it eye to eye.
Yep,
And
yep.
then I'm going to I'm going to hold the staff. And I'm going to try and remember the words that
Mm-hmm.
my mother used to say. And I say, I call upon the spirits that guide my people. Allow my words to pierce the veil and to communicate with this beast. And
The
I wait and see if it worked. And I say, do you understand me?
the fox says, Yes.
Oh, it worked, Malcolm. Wait, do I sound like a fox, or does Malcolm?
No, you just understand what they say. But they don't understand. You do. You're the only one who understands it.
And
Now, so first we have a talking darkspawn, and Ken is talking to a fox. Wonderful. Wonderful, Malcolm says.
hush, Malcolm. I need to talk. Just be quiet for a moment. Keep your eyes on the darkspawn. I need to talk to the fox.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what does the fox say?
Inevitable.
It sounds adorable right now. I'll let you know if it has any deep, meaningful words.
Do you have more food? The fox asks. Do you have more food?
Malcolm, give me food.
Uh, Here, he says, and he gives you a piece of bread. I guess.
Bread, Malcolm. It's a fox. Do you have rations or something?
I might have another fish. Foxes eat fish, don't they?
Yes.
It's here. Here you go. And when you offer the fish, Esborn grunts as if to say, "That's my fish."
Today, mister. Hold on. And I hold out the fish, like I sort of tear off a piece and I put it in front of the fox and let him eat it from my hands.
Yum. Oh, thank you. Yum, 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 yum.
Oh, you're quite polite for a fox. I can't believe this worked. Okay. What is that? And I point towards the darkspawn.
That? He says, oh, well, she is... We don't really have a name for her. She's just the protector of these parts of the parts of the woods.
She protects the woods.
All of the little animals she does. I think she fancies us. Well, we are pretty cute. The cuter the better, I suppose.
This is so strange.
We've only seen her in the last couple of weeks.
So she's new.
Oh, yes. I haven't seen her before this.
Can you talk to her?
No, I can't talk to her.
Oh. Does she understand you?
I don't think so. She seems to know when I'm hungry, though.
And I sort of toss him another bit of the fish.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, Fox. Do you have a name?
No, no one's ever given me a name.
Would you like one?
Sure. Would you give her one too? We don't have a name for her either.
Oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable naming the darkspawn. I'll get attached to it. I feel bad when I kill it.
What's a darkspawn?
Oh, this is going to get complicated. All right. So, I'm going to call you Rowan. All right? Rowan the fox.
Rowan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like that? Or are you a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? I didn't.
I'm a boy.
Okay,
I'm a
Rowan's
boy.
fine. Alright. And so I'm gonna. What is the darkspawn doing? She's just standing there?
She's just watching curiously. She's not doing anything other than just standing there watching you curiously, trying to figure out. She's studying you, it seems, but not in a threatening way, just in a curious way.
So she's new to this part. She has no name. And is she gonna hurt anybody? She's never hurt any people?
She says, not that I've seen, no. Well, a few bandits, maybe. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone who hasn't attacked her first.
Interesting. Well, Malcolm, it seems our little friend, who I've named Rowan, by the way, he's quite cute. It seems that this thing over here has been sort of a protector of this part of the forest.
All right.
Aye.
Sure.
Aye.
Oh, wait till Gerard hears about this.
I... Well, what do you recommend?
I have no idea, he says, as we move on to the next person.
Oh my goodness.
So, Andrea. Oh, Andrea's the last one, I think. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrea. So here's what happens, Andrea.
Oh gosh.
Andrea, you are going to be summoned again into Bostwick's office.
Okay.
And Bostwick will... it's probably been a couple of months, we'll say. Probably maybe a few weeks, couple of months, something around that time. And sitting with Bostwick in a couch is an individual with amazing hair and missing an eye. Kane.
Guy has style.
Kane stands up as soon as he sees you. Deja vu, right, right, Kimberly?
I
Deja vu.
know. I can see him for real now.
Yes. It's not hypothetical anymore.
Lucky.
He's getting around quite a bit.
Oh,
Huh?
yes. Well, you're about to find out why. So Bostwick stands up and he says, Andrea, thank you for joining us at such short notice. Andrea, Kane. Kane, Andrea.
Pleasure to meet you. She's going to raise her hand out so he can kiss it.
Yes. Ah, of course, he says, and he lightly kisses it with very gentle lips. He sits back and says, my dear, I'd like to talk business with you, if I may, and as a rule, I don't like talking business specifically unless I have a drink in my hand. Would you care for some wine?
I would love some wine.
Bostwick, I'm sure you can manage. Of course, Kane. Kane and I are very good friends. We go a long way back, and he has a proposal for both of us that I think will help everybody. At least take a listen to what he has to say.
Of course.
And with this, Bostwick will leave you with a nice bottle of wine, which Kane will then pour towards you. He'll give it a little bit of a swirl, and he will very debonairly hand it towards you. My lady.
Thank you, sir, and I'll take it very delicately.
So, my lady, as Bostwick said, we are very good friends, and I wanted to provide you and him, and possibly another individual, associate of you, an offer that I hope you cannot refuse. He says, have you ever had any desire whatsoever to free yourself of this place, at least temporarily, if you don't want to be free of it completely? Maybe see what other adventures you can place yourself into.
That was the
Explore the world.
That's always the hope. I didn't plan on fighting in a gladiatorial arena the rest of my life, but
What if I were to say to you that I could provide you with riches, your own riches, for you to manage the way you see fit? Perhaps property and freedom.
I like all of those things.
Says, well, I came here because I am looking for the best. And you, my dear, I believe are the best.
I believe you're probably right.
I've seen you out there in the crowd, and I've seen how very crafty you are, determined, regardless of what challenge is thrown at you. I think you are just the job for a very specific task for me. Are you familiar, my dear, with... There's something that I need acquired, and I think you might be able to help me get it.
Very well.
Are you familiar with a legendary blade called Nematos? He asks.
We would have all heard of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, yes, of course. Leoldin killed the archdemon with it. It is so cool.
Yes.
Yes.
What if I were to say to you that how legendary would it be for someone of your caliber to be the one who would be able to acquire it?
Keep talking.
He says, this blade, this legendary blade, has been given to someone who is questionable in his heroic status. Yes, he may very well be the left hand of the Maker, but the man has walked a very dark path, and I don't know if the blade is in right hand, so to speak. My proposal is for you to reacquire this blade, and in return, I will provide you and your master with everything that you could ever want. I am not asking you to kill Leoldin for it, of course. We go way back. I don't want the man dead, unless you yourself decide that it is necessary. That will be completely up to you. With the help of this, he says, and he holds out a bottle of quiet death, which he had made with Theobin
Hey,
earlier.
Theobin, thanks.
This bottle, he says as he hands it, contains quiet death. One drop can knock even the greatest warriors of himself in just a few minutes. 2 drops for an hour. 3 drops will knock him out for 24 hours. 4 drops could put him in a coma for 3 days. The entire bottle is fatal. This is a poison that must be ingested. Now, I am not going to tell you how many drops you need to use, but that is probably your best way of getting to Leoldin and acquiring the sword without conflict. The question is, do you think you would be up for such a challenge?
Of course. So, I don't know where he is or how to get there, but
Well, he says, I'm sure that you will probably be able to figure that out. I can help you with some leads. I have ears all over the place that might be able to discover his current whereabouts. He's not necessarily in Orlais. As the left hand of the divine, he goes off traveling in various places. All I needed to know is if I have your commitment. In addition to this, I will throw in a bonus. I understand that you have a friend, an elf, Trina, who's having some problems.
I do.
What if I were to tell you that I possess a concoction that can cure what ails her?
Do you?
Yes, I do. She will be able to walk again if you are able to provide me with an additional bonus. This is an optional part of this quest. The only reason why I'm making it optional is because it is a little bit more difficult.
Very good.
Are you familiar with Honor's Call? The shield held by Maximilian Sunworth.
I am.
Are you familiar with the gloves that Delwyn holds and the mirror that Gwenail holds?
The shard, the mirror shard? Yes, I am.
Yes. If you are to provide me with any of those items as well, in addition, I will be able to throw you a concoction depending on how many of the strength of which depends on the amount of items you're able to collect. Provide me with one, she will have the ability to walk for a week at least. Gives her the ability for a week. For someone like her, I'm sure she would not be able to squander that she would not squander that. Get me 2 of the items, she will be able to walk for a month. 3 items, I can provide you a potion so powerful that she will be able to walk indefinitely. This is a very difficult challenge though, I know. It's optional. But the offer is there. should you feel you have the ability to do so. But you can always quit at any time. I do not wish to throw yourself into any danger or situation that you think would be compromising. Rest assured, if you do acquire these items, we will be sure to change your identity so as to protect you from any repercussions that may come as far as acquiring these items from the so-called heroes of Ferelden.
Very good. One addendum.
I beg your pardon?
I would like to add an addendum. Or an addition, if it were.
She says as he swirls his glass of wine and he gives it a sip. You're quite entertaining as you are crafty. Very well. I would like to hear your addendum.
She goes free either way. And I will do this for you.
He thinks for a moment.
And she lives comfortably.
Should you succeed at acquiring the nematose at minimum? Is
Yes.
that what you are asking?
Yes.
Let me talk to Bostwick first. He will rise up, leave the room. After that, Bostwick and Kane will both enter. And Bostwick will says, Kane and I have talked about this offer, and I am happy with the terms. And I am happy with the terms as well, Kane says.
Very good. Well, in that case, I think I should be able to make use of this little concoction. I wasn't planning on being this sort of person, but, you know, I've done worse, so...
Very well, he says. Just know, Andrea, he says, that if at any point we discover that you reveal to anyone about this conversation that we have in this room, or any ties that I have about this conversation, the offer is forfeit. Do we understand each other? Kane says.
Discrepancy is my middle name.
Excellent. Then I think, he says, we have a deal, as he
Very
clinks his
good.
glass against yours.
I'll do that too. Yes, and take a sip. Oh my
And the
gosh,
chess
I'm gonna
pieces
be
are
a bad
set.
guy.
Let's all trust the mage. Yeah, great guy. Oh, screw you, Templar. It's a great person.
I'm not a blood mage at least. Oh god. Sorry guys. Totally gonna be bad.
Totally gonna be bad. Halasair, you are on your way out, making your way through the hobby area of Violetta's wagon, when all of a sudden the back of your right hand starts burning. You've got this really painful sensation, and like Theoben, it's like it's tugging you in a certain direction, and if you go opposite of that direction, you feel it burn even more. But if you go towards it, the pain subsides.
By the maker, now what? She'll explore it.
She'll go towards the area, and there is a light glowing before you as you approach the light. Cedric, you are on the ship. The storm is starting to subside with Hugh, who is currently wrapping his leg, trying to let it heal, when you have a very burning sensation on your left ankle. It's burning, and you can feel it tugging down into the water. If you look towards the water, you see a glowing light. Glowing light.
Cedric's gonna try and ignore it.
Okay. Hugh is going to continue wrapping his ankle. Kenna, you are in the middle of talking with this fox, and one of the items on Malcolm's cart starts to glow, and you feel your chest just above your heart starts to burn. very painfully, as if it's reacting to you towards this light on Malcolm's cart. And Andrea, as you are making your way across the hallway, you have a very painful burning sensation on your lower back as you're passing by one of the mirrors that you've always noticed. It's always passed by in Bostwick's estate. But this mirror seems to be glowing now and reacting to something on the back of your lower back, as if tugging you towards it.
I'm feeling extra magey right now. I'll walk right over to it.
You will walk right over to it.
Yeah.
And Theobin, you, right across from where the Anvil of the Void should be, there is a glowing mirror, which seems to be beckoning you towards it. The pain for all 5 of you starts to get more intense the longer you dawdle, almost as if you feel like it's going to become unbearable, to the point that you will have to start yelling out if you don't make your way towards the mirror.
Let's
Does
go.
Cedric see the mirror?
Cedric will definitely see something glowing into the water, and it does look like a mirror. It's shining, and it does look like a mirror. At this point, Hugh notices this across, and he looks down, and he says, "What's that glow? It looks like a looking glass."
Yes, I'm unsure, but I have this urge to go check it out.
Are you sure that's a good idea? Hugh says.
Nope.
There's a big pain that shoots up in your ankle, like big searing pain.
Good idea? No. But I'm gonna do it, and he dives in.
You dive down, and you go towards the light. Is anyone else not going towards the light? Because if you're not, you're gonna get very pain. You're gonna searing pain.
Thea's going towards the light.
Okay. How about Kenna and Halisair?
No hesitation.
Okay. And Kenna?
Slight hesitation, but when the pain gets worse, she's gonna move the fox and start digging through his stuff, like, ah.
Malcolm looks very surprised, and then you go over, and it appears to you open a packaging, and it's a mirror. As soon as you open the packaging, there's a big flash of light as all 5 of you enter into the mirror. Cedric, you end up in... Well, all of you end up not in the same room. Not in the same room, but this is what the area around you looks like. The Alluvion. All of those mirrors was an Alluvion.
Oh, so cool. Yes.
Cedric, you find yourself first, of course, feeling water around you, but as soon as you hit the light, you emerge, and some of the water actually comes in with you. And then right behind you pops in Hugh. He falls to the ground a little bit, and he slowly picks himself up. He's still favoring his leg, and he still has the paintbrush across in the satchel on his back. "What is this place?" Hugh asks.
By the Maker, I am not sure, but it doesn't look like a friendly place.
He pulls out his paintbrush, and he holds it up against him. "Can we go back?"
I'm not sure. I'll walk over to the mirror and look through it.
You walk over to the mirror and you look through it, and it used to glow, but now it's turned dark again. You can kind of see glimpses of the water before the mirror stops glowing and turns black. Kenna, when you emerge into the through the mirror, through the Alluvion, the Darkspawn follows after you as well. As in addition to Esborn, somehow the Esborn comes in too, and the fox stayed behind with Malcolm. Just so you know,
Aw.
the fox stayed behind currently, but But the mirror seals behind all 5 of you. So you are now not in the same room, but you are now somewhere in the crossroads. And anyone who wants to tell me what they do can tell me what they do.
Ken is gonna back up from the darkspawn and she's gonna... What did you do? Did you do this?
Sakwata, shotenko, she
No, I
says, and
forgot
she looks
you
very...
can't talk.
She looks very confused. She looks just as confused as you. Like she has no idea what's going on.
Right. I check on my bear. Is he okay?
The bear is fine. He just looks very cautious of this place.
Do I see anything around me? Anything else besides mirrors everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely seems to be... There's mirrors everywhere, there's like structures, there's like paths that go every which way. Some of them are like upside down. It's like some sort of vertigo dream. But you do feel that tugging sensation coming from your chest again, as if it's continuing to lead you on somewhere else.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna follow it, and then I'm gonna have Esbjorn sort of stay behind the Darkspawn woman and sort of push her along to follow us. We're just gonna
The Darkspawn
wander.
woman... Okay, the Darkspawn woman looks kind of disturbed by this, but she pulls out her whip and follows you, waiting for anything that may attack you. Everybody else is given the sensation to follow, and for the sake of storytelling, I'm going to assume that you do follow this sensation. Otherwise, we're going to be here for a while.
Yep, no problem.
I
Absolutely.
have my
is-
weapon out as well.
Yes.
Hugh and Cedric are wandering around, and Hugh asks you, "Is this dangerous? Do you think?"
More than likely, I would be ready for anything.
He's hobbling along a little bit, still favoring his leg, and he says, "Thank you, by the way."
For what?
He says, "For helping me back there."
Call us even. You got me out of the box.
He says, "Fair enough. What do you think those men were talking about, calling you the package?"
I'm not sure, but it might have something to do with this.
Hugh nods, and he continues to follow. Each of you makes your own journey through the crossroads, until finally you start to converge. Almost simultaneously, the 5 of you, plus your companions, reach a specific area in the crossroads. Not the main crossroads that you see in the game or read in the book, but a different place entirely where the paths converge. And you now see, at least the 5 of you, because you haven't seen the bear and the darkspawn and Hugh yet, but the 5 of you are now face to face in different, almost like different doorways. And now you can interact.
Oh my gosh!
What happens?
Hello?
Reveal yourselves.
You first. Who are you?
Cedric will step through.
Yeah, me too. I'm just gonna walk in. Alright,
Yeah.
there I am.
Do you look mage-like? Because
Do you look-
I'm fine clothes, and I don't have a staff or anything.
She's more obviously Kunari
Okay.
than she is mage. And by the way,
good.
just so you know, Cedric, I think one of the things that will happen is Hugh will probably offer to give you some items from his... He'll hand you a backpack, which is what he was carrying around too, and the backpack contains all of your inventory.
Okay.
So you're now at all of your inventory now.
Sweet.
Convenient.
Also, Andrea,
Yeah.
I think in good faith, Kane will provide you with a down payment.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I love him. Well, yeah, Andrea would be wearing very fine clothes with jewelry and horn caps. She's got metal horn caps on. She's just gonna be like, "Hi."
Ah,
Fair enough.
I'm sorry.
Vashith, but yeah, same. Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Hmm.
What brings you here?
Oh, jeez.
There's a growl from behind.
She's going to hide behind Cedric.
Cedric will fly.
It starts.
It starts. When you hide behind Cedric, Andrea, you find that you just sandwich yourself between Cedric and this other gentleman, handsome-looking gentleman with a big paintbrush in
Well,
his
I'm just
hand.
gonna stay right there then.
Okay, sandwich between the two guys. That's fine. We know where Andrea's priorities are. She's the smart one.
Great. So we have Andrea looking all pretty with her horn caps. We have Cedric in his plot armor. Kenna's wearing cold clothes.
Like mountain garb.
Slushy.
Yeah,
Cool.
mountain garb.
Cool. And Theo.
Theo's wearing his merchant's outfit, so that's like a long nugskin coat with an undershirt, trousers, and a belt that has his poisons or alcohol. He can never quite decide. Attached to his belt. And yeah, he's staying back as well. Like, he hasn't broken into everything that's going on. He's staying back, and he's kind of, his hands hovering over his bow. He's not really sure what the situation is at the moment. So he's kind of like stayed back. So you'd probably still notice him. He's not hiding, but he's not approaching any of you either.
Sure.
Cedric's more focused on the bear, or like the noise. He'll have his halberd pointing in that direction.
Can they see him, or is it just like an
Yes.
ominous noise in the back?
They can see him. Like when he growls, he emerges a little bit. The darkspawn is holding back. She's not revealing herself yet. Probably intelligently so.
Yeah.
Intelligently so.
And I'm just gonna point over Cedric's arm. Say, bear, there's a bear.
Cedric will look annoyed and be like, yes, I see the bear. Now
Kenna's gonna sort of step in front of him defensively and don't touch my bear or I'll do something bad to you.
Whoa.
She's just sort of like noticing how many people are there and she's like, oh, okay. Love you.
Up until that point, she'd had like her shield ready to defend if need be. Yeah, that's not a threat anymore.
You won't attack unless you give reason. So
What is your reason for being here?
what's yours?
Maker only knows.
Well,
at least someone follows the maker.
Yes, she's in like heavy leathers. She has
Yes.
a very well worn shield. She has a longsword, and she has a very prominent symbol of Andraste in bronze on her around her neck.
Yes.
Well, I trust that one, as he points over to Alistair. But
All
the
right.
rest of you.
It's a good start. And you? And she's just like 1, 2, 3, just looking at the others. Just.
Yeah, Theobin and Andrea and Kenna.
Mm-hmm.
He can't hear you. He's too far back. He never joined the group.
Sure.
Yeah, he's holding back. Kenna's so
Sure.
Theobin's not technically there.
oh,
Yeah,
holding
well,
back
he's
a bit.
technically pointing an arrow at you, but he's not
Yeah, point-
talking.
Right, not talking. Yes.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, hello. My name's Andrea. Just kind of.
It's like peeking over, like Cedric, like, hi.
Peeking over Cedric. Hi.
Cedric and I are about the same height, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're like 1 inch
I think-
taller than me.
Yeah, I think you're a little slightly taller.
Yeah. So, hello.
Get yourself some heels.
Yes. Good to meet you.
Well,
Sword goes away. She's more perturbed than anything. My name is Halisair, and I don't know what we're doing here.
Mine is Cedric.
What brought you here?
And I don't know what we're doing here as well.
Excellent. Good. We have a start.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was in an estate in Taventa, and I was walking down the hall, and a mirror lit up, and I went in. Here I am. This is
Similar
an
to
amazing
me.
world.
From Taventer.
Yes. Minrathis.
Minrathis.
I see.
At this point, Theoben's going to take some decisive action. He's going to fire a warning shot at an Alluvian that's like just a bit higher than Cedric's head, and he's going to shoot the arrow straight at the mirror.
Okay.
He's going to approach the group once they start to notice where the arrows came from, and he's going to say, "I'm Theoben, Vorzamar."
Kenna would jump. Scared. She didn't see him.
Yeah, that's our
Where
back
did
out.
the wee
Good
little
job
man
there.
come from? What is going on?
Now, when you say just above Cedric's head, you know the taller Kunari is standing.
Yeah.
Oh no!
How good's your aim?
No. Yeah, he hasn't done it to hit anyone. He's done it to, like, back off. If you try to hurt me, I'll hurt you. That sort of bravado.
Sure.
But yeah, he is starting to cautiously walk towards the group at this point.
Okay, so I went through a mirror. You went through a mirror.
I did.
You've just killed a mirror.
Yes. This is...
Yes,
the
well,
rest?
the mirror's pissed me off.
I went through a mirror as well.
I
mine was
am
a-
there.
In the water.
Yes, that's right. And it's at this point that Hugh pokes his head out. My name is Hugh.
Do we have any other surprises? Any other mirror shooters? Anything?
Lord, I hope not. Or Maker, I hope not.
Kenna's
Well,
gonna
you
sort
should-
of remember that there's somebody else, and she turns back to see if she can see the lady who's following her.
She's there down the hall, and she still has her whip, but she seems to be trying to hide in the shadows. You have a feeling that being around lots of people is a bit overwhelming for her. Like, she doesn't do well with many people at once. So
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can talk to her so bad.
She has a veil, right, that covers her face.
yeah, and I think at this point she's probably covered it back again, because she only covered it just because I think you probably think part of it's because she thought maybe she would be able to communicate with her better, as if she took the veil down, but it doesn't seem to help, so I think she put it back up again.
Okay.
So she kind of looks like a very sickly looking human through the veil.
Right. She's gonna turn back around toward her, and she's gonna say, "Look, I know you're trying to hide. She can't understand her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
You might have
gonna-
to be more like...
Yeah, she's gonna like sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah, right here, right now.
Dance.
Come here. Let's go."
You make these motions. You see her making these motions, and through the doorway, you see hobbling in is a woman, or at least the figure of a woman, with a veil over her face. She's got deep black eyes, very dark-looking skin, and she looks at all of you curiously, cautiously. She has a whip, a very long whip in her hand.
Ooh, kinky.
Friend of yours?
Did she say that?
Yeah. She would say that.
So Andrea say that, kinky?
Oh,
Yeah.
Andrea.
Cedric will ask if that's a friend of yours and
Mine.
point to Kenna.
No. But I don't know what she is yet.
Well, that's
Fair
complicated.
enough.
Yeah, Theo's gonna get another arrow ready and pair it unless somebody stops him.
What do you mean, what she is?
She is I don't know what she is.
Can she talk?
Fair enough. I mean, neither of us or none of us know what any of us are right now, friend, foe.
True.
She hasn't harmed anybody, and she helped me in a fight, so I'm gonna give her the benefit of a doubt. But just keep an eye on her.
I guess that
Sure.
would mean something if we trusted you.
Well,
I'm gonna eyeball Hugh.
I hardly trust the one standing behind me. If it wasn't for Hugh behind her.
Andrea, who are you eyeballing? Who are you looking at?
Hugh.
You're eyeballing Hugh.
Yeah, because
Hugh.
he's standing behind me. So.
You look at. Okay, you're looking at Hugh, and he looks at you back. He's got very, very soft blue eyes, very, smooth-looking complexion, but his overall demeanor is very.
Can I tell?
You can, yeah. He's got the brand on his forehead. You
Yeah.
can tell that he's tranquil.
Yeah. So I'm going to, nice to meet you, Hugh, and this is one that's one that she would trust automatically.
Yeah, you can probably trust the tranquil.
Yeah, she's like, all right, it's just tranquil behind me. That's good.
Yes.
It is nice to meet you as well, Andrea, Hugh says. If you all say you came from Amir, do you by any chance know of a way out? We could not go back the way that we went, the way that we came through.
Is there a kind of lore I could roll to see if I know anything about where we are?
Yes, everyone can roll a, I guess, history or whatever else you think is a proper roll for this. In addition to intelligence, I want everyone to roll whatever history check or lore check they want to make in addition to intelligence and tell me what the values are. Andrea and Theobin, I'm going to say, will know of stories of the Alluvions. They used to be made by the ancient elves as a way to travel across Thetis. And the place in between is not exactly the Fade. It's more like a constructed pocket of the Fade. The rules here are slightly different than that of the Fade. Some people have referred to this realm as the Crossroads.
Okay.
And then if everyone would like to roll a cunning, just a flat-out cunning roll, you may. Let me know if you get a 12 or above. Okay.
19.
Nope.
I got a 13.
Yeah.
Got a 19.
Okay. So Kenna, Theobin, and Andrea. All right. So before I get to that, if anyone wants to mention anything about the Crossroads, you may.
Yeah. Yeah, Theobin will speak up. He'll say, I know what this place is. I think a Dalish told me of it once. I think it's the place between the worlds, was it not? It was the crossroads, I think she said. You enter an alluvion, and you enter somewhere that isn't quite Fade, somewhere in between.
Yes.
That's right.
In between.
Clever one you are.
Like we're dead.
I'm well travelled.
No.
No, no.
It's similar to the Fade, but physical things can go through. It's like a teleportation type thing.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
Andrea, yeah.
Zambaktu.
Is she
The
speaking
woman
to
says.
Vinter?
Does anybody understand what she's saying?
Okay, so Andrea,
Yes.
she is speaking very ancient to Vinter. You can make out some words. Yes, not completely what she's saying, but you do recognize parts of what she's saying. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So what she just said is pathway, or destiny, pathway or destination.
I'm going to speak back to her into Vinter and ask her whose destiny, whose pathway.
She listens carefully as if she's not completely understanding everything you're saying, but she at least responds in a way that sounds like the old ones. The old ones is what she responds.
The old ones. So, and anyone know what the old ones are? Just curious.
Wait, you can understand her?
Oh yeah, she's speaking to Vinter. Just a weird dialect that I don't recognize.
Vinter.
Great.
McKenna.
It's like Gwenaëlle all over again. Oh, it's a Norwegian. Oh my gosh, it's a Norwegian. Oh, it's a Winter. and Andre is not a mage. She's a scholar. Of course I know what she says. I'm a scholar. For those of you who rolled higher than a 13 in your cunning roll, if you're not Theoben, you recognize a mark on his right temple matches a mark on your body, a birthmark. Each of you has a birthmark that I've told you about.
Yeah.
And some of you start pointing, realizing that the birthmark looks very familiar, as in the one that you also possess, but in another part of your body.
I'm going to actually kind of walk over to him with my hands up and bend to look at it, because he's really a lot
Right.
me.
As far as the visual ones, Theoben's is on his right temple, Halisair's is on her right hand. The other ones I don't think are visible.
Was Halisair's
currently.
always there?
Do you want to ask her that?
Well, I'm curious if it was always there, because I would think Andrea would have seen it.
All of you
That's true.
were... That's true. All of you were born with it, so you probably would recognize... So that's probably something that you noticed, but maybe as little children you didn't really think much of it.
Sure.
But you probably will recognize Halisair. Now, Andrea, Halisair looks... Before you start putting two and two together, Halisair has a much darker complexion than when you knew her as a child. She definitely was fair-skinned, probably closer to olive skin. Definitely not as dark as it is now.
Really? Okay.
Yes, which is part of the reason why you probably would not really recognize her at this moment. Unless you decided to roll a really hard cunning roll. I'll let you have a really hard cunning roll, but I don't think you would recognize her the way she is right now. But you would recognize the mark. That's the only thing, because Halisair did have that mark.
Yeah, I guess I can.
Go ahead, roll a
It's
cunning
up
and
to
we'll see
you.
what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you.
But
14?
yeah.
You will... I don't think that's enough for you to recognize Halisair, but it's definitely very suspicious and interesting that this person has this mark on the same spot as Halisair.
And she has
Very
the same name, which is so weird.
Then she has... Well, that's true. She has the same name.
Well, technically, it's a religious name. Halisair was Andraste's sister. It's like me being
Right.
named Mary.
Right. So, I guess with the 14, yeah, you might start putting two and two together. Although, she looks very different.
And she's been working out.
And she's been working out.
She looks great.
So, what happens?
Yeah, I'm peeking at Theo's if he doesn't freak out with me. The Canary bending over to
The
look at
Canary
him.
bending over, looking at your face.
Okay, so she's like touching his face, or just kind of hovering
No,
over?
just studying it, I think.
Okay. Alright, he's looking very perplexed, like, what are you looking at?
Oh, you've got a birthmark right on your face.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've got one too, and it looks just like that.
She'll turn around and she'll show that on her lower back there is
Yeah.
a birthmark of a star that looks exactly like your birthmark.
And Theo's just going to tilt his head to the side, I can't quite see it, could you pull down a bit lower?
Sure. She does not even
Okay.
Can you see it now? Classic Theoben.
Yeah, it's classic Theoben.
Theo.
What happens? Okay, so what happens next?
Well, Halisera just totally failed her role, so I'm playing her as oblivious until told otherwise. She's too busy looking around.
Okay.
Oh yeah, does anything come from my 19 cunning roll earlier, or was that for everybody that wasn't?
That
me?
was for everybody that wasn't you.
Oh, okay.
You will notice on Halisera's right hand that she has the same mark as you do on your face. But as with the 19, when it's strange when Andrea turns around to show you the mark, everyone can see that the mark starts to slightly glow, like it's reacting. And your mark and her mark seems to be reacting together within a certain vicinity of each other, when they're within a certain vicinity.
Reacting how? Like, is the pain back? Or,
like, it's not a pain. It's less of a pain and more like a tingle. It's completely different. It's not unpleasant. It's slightly uncomfortable, but it's not painful. It's definitely something totally different when you're in closer vicinity with each other. Your marks are closer in vicinity.
You seem to be making me tingly.
I have that effect on men.
Oh, well, Anders.
Anyone, if you guys start to approach towards each other, towards the center of the room, you will start to feel that your respected marks will start to tingle as well if you start to approach the center of the room within the vicinity of everybody else.
Sure. I think Haliser is more looking outward as if to figure out what an appropriate place to go would be. There's a reason we're all here. Let's see where we're supposed to go.
Okay, so does she say something?
Not yet, because they're poking each other, whatever.
I have poked no one.
She's only dropped her... Yes, okay, anyway. That's all she's done. Perhaps you should ask Hugh to paint a portrait of when he first met Cedric.
That would be a great commemorative piece. We should have it. Yeah, so I'm showing my back and I'm looking around.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and you definitely feel a tingle as well.
Theo's gonna try touching the mark. See if that does anything.
my mark?
When you touch the mark, both you and Andrea feel like a rush, almost like. Have you ever seen That's So Raven?
Yeah.
Like when she has a vision, she kind of goes. When she has this look on her face, this like zooms into her eye, and like there's this like she sees a vision. The vision that you both see when this happens is different for the two of you. For Theoben, he feels solid, earthy, whereas with Andrea, she feels very free and flowy, like liquid.
I like that.
I wonder what that could be alluding to.
I have a question. Do their marks glow, or is it just a feeling, like internal?
It does glow. It does glow.
Okay.
Their marks do start to glow.
Okay, that
Right now, Andrea's is glowing a lightly bluish, and right now, Theoben's is slightly greenish. Slightly greenish.
What are you doing there?
Curious.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Haliser. You can go. You can go.
Oh, no worries. She a glow will catch her eye, so she just.
What kind of magic
What's
is
going
that?
on over there?
Same thing. It's the same thing. I'm just sort of like absentmindedly like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And getting closer.
Cedric will be backing up.
When you get closer, when Kenna, you start to feel your chest react. Again, it's tingly, not painful sensation. And depending on how much, I don't know how much armor you're wearing.
It's
Like,
just mountain garb, so it's just clothing.
mounted garb, so it's
Yeah.
clothing. You see slight white glow coming from your just above your heart.
That's strange. It's never done that before.
Mine neither. Cool.
I'm starting to
right?
think we're all Power Rangers.
Can I go over and touch Andrea's bum too and see what happens?
Yes.
It's not my bum.
Yeah, it's not her bum, it's just her lower back. When you touch her lower back, you also get this rush, and you feel the brightness, like the light and the darkness and the shadow. And you, of all people, immediately, like, something in your head pops in, the words ether, pops into your head specifically, Kenna. Ah, I see where this is going. Heart! I'm sorry.
The power is yours.
Amazing.
Heart. Anyway. Which is where right above her heart. Anyway.
Because Theo's already got his hand kind of placed on the small Andrea's back, he's going to ask, did you get visions from that? Because I just got a weird one.
She's going to eye the chantry woman. 'Cause
She's getting that back in return.
not in Templar gear, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just eyeing Halisare real quick. Be like,
She's just trying to figure out what's going on.
It's not typically something you should tell chantry folk, but yeah, I saw something too.
Q asks, do you all have these marks? I don't think that I do.
Cedric's not saying anything. He's
Yeah, she
staring
didn't
at
say anything either, but she just held up her hand with the mark on it.
He's staring
You held up your
very
hand, and
intently at the glow.
your hand is now glowing a deep red.
Ooh, that's interesting. And she is kind of eyeballing it, and gears are starting to turn, but she's not quite there yet.
Oh yeah, and Theo's going to realise he's probably had his hand on her back for a bit too long.
Yes.
It's kind of creepy.
What did you see in your vision?
Water, I think.
Water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So water.
Like, Earth?
The stone. Yeah, earth or the stone.
Yeah.
Who saw water?
I saw water.
I think that for Kenna, she can definitely... This sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Like, you're starting to put the pieces. 5 people, and yeah, this is really starting to get... You, of all people, will start to... The gears can turn at this point.
The foreshadowing was real for
Anything
Kenny.
that you, Sam, is probably thinking up is what Ken is probably thinking up at this point.
Okay. She's gonna walk over to Halisare, and she's gonna sort of just hold out her hand, and she's gonna touch her mark on her hand if she'll let her.
When you touch her hand, so you'll still see the same vision that you saw before, but for Halisare, it's this burning, fiery passion through you.
Yeah, it is.
Very, yeah. Burning sensation.
Did you see something?
Whew, might need a cigarette after that.
Which one of us is water?
Which one was water?
Fire. I saw fire.
Fire, right. And then she's gonna look towards Cedric.
Cedric's gonna have his halberd still raised and be like, oh no. Too much magic going on here for me.
You're right. There's a lot of magic going on.
So you don't have a mark.
I'm not...
He who says, oh yeah, he does. Because he's seen it. He's seen it. Oh yes, he does.
Where,
But he says it without like skipping a beat.
where is it, Hugh?
It's on his left ankle.
Damn it, Hugh.
God damn it, Hugh.
He turns to you. I beg your pardon, Cedric? Did I do something wrong?
No, telling the truth is
No.
always right.
Hugh looks very puzzled, very confused, as if like, what just happened? I don't know. I don't get
Fine,
it.
Hugh. It's fine. I can't be mad at you.
Not with those soulless eyes.
Kenna's gonna go and she's. Let's see it.
Whip it out!
I love her so much.
Get it out, Cedric.
Cedric will reluctantly comply and lift
Right.
leg of his.
Show his ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your mark is tingling and it's glowing a yellowish color.
Kenna's gonna bend down and she's gonna touch his ankle.
Whoa.
All right.
You don't even get close. Sorry.
Cedric. Okay, so Cedric's very ankle shy.
Cedric's
Relax.
very magic shy. That's what Cedric
Yes.
Understandably.
Okay, so he pulls away before you have a chance to do it.
Yeah. I say,
He's
whoa,
so
what do you
fixated
think
on
you're
her,
doing?
and she's gonna like crawl and try and touch it.
That won't go badly.
Do you need assistance, Cedric? Hugh asks as this woman is trying to crawl on the ground towards you.
No, I'm fine. As he's backing up away from
This is an odd sight.
When you're doing that, you kind of might hear a little like almost as if the bear is laughing as he's watching Kenna crawling towards Cedric.
Yes, it's very funny. All right, just hold still. It's not going to hurt. It's gonna feel good. I promise. Now just hold still.
Wow.
Cedric will look down at her and he's like, okay, but only for a second, and you have to get right up off the floor right afterwards.
She's just gonna touch him on the ankle.
All right. Well, as soon as she makes contact, Cedric, you get a big rush, and you feel light as air. At the same time, there's a powerful strike of lightning and thunder booming around you. So you're like, it's free, but powerful at the same time. And then she removes contact from you.
Did you see it? What did you see?
All right, first off, never do that again. Second, thunder, lightning.
Like air?
Sure, I felt like
She's gonna get up excitedly. I knew it!
What did you know?
This is amazing. And weird. And...
What do you know?
Yes.
what kind of magic is this?
It's not magic. It's divine.
I've been called many things, but that is not one of them.
So she will basically explain to you the beliefs of the Avarian people. Pretty much what the storyteller had said earlier about the 5 different elements: earth, fire, air, water, and aether. And how they believe that the gods themselves, the Avarian gods, embody these basic building blocks that they use to create all of reality, the entire universe, according to their legends.
Ah.
Great.
Okay. The Maker turned from his firstborn and took from the fade a measure of its flesh. He placed it apart from the spirits and spoke to it, saying, "Here I decree opposition in all things, for earth, sky, for summer, winter, darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the word given new life.
I like her
Theo's just-
explanation better.
Yeah, Theo's just going to be like, "Phew, that was wordy. Plain English? Or Dwarven?
Plain King's tongue here.
Speak plainly. What are we dealing with?
I'm inclined to say the divine.
Obviously.
But to what
Alright.
end?
Well, do your gods have a way out of here?
No, but our feet probably do.
Great.
She'll start
Finally.
marching somewhere.
Get moving then.
You, woman from Taventa. I'm just pointing at her.
She turns towards you when you point to her. Sampa, she says, and you hear you know that means, yes, basically yes. You called.
Alright, you know that this is a path. Do you know the way out?
She
Ouch.
says, she looks at you and she shakes her head, but then she looks at the five of you and she points. Tempacto, va. She said, because she's been watching these marks. She's been watching these marks carefully, and as they've been glowing, and then she's pointing at all five of you specifically, and that's all she does. Is just points to all five of you.
Do I
Your
know
friend's very
what that
helpful.
means?
All
Roll
five.
everyone roll a cunning.
Oh.
Everyone roll a cunning. Tell me if you get anyone who has a 15 or higher. I'm just curious.
No.
Or if not, who's the closest to 15? 13?
Did I do that?
Andrea's the closest to 15?
Yeah.
Okay. Andrea, you know that as two of you get closer to the center of the room, you feel that your things were tingling. What do you think would happen if all five of you tried to get close to each other in the center of the room? Is what you're curious about.
Alright,
Something that Cedric
Alright.
does not want to know.
well, we're trapped in a magical room right now with mirrors. That much seems obvious, but if we all converge together, the closer we get, the more the marks seem to react. So maybe if we all got together, something might happen and we can get out. Possibly. I don't know what
Possibly.
she's saying, by the way.
You want us all to get close.
So close, yes.
Well, only 5 of us have the marks. What
Yes.
about the others?
They should probably stay close too, just in case we open the way out. We don't want them to be left here.
Right. Okay. Could you
I
tell
have
the
no better
woman to get
answers.
closer?
Tell who? Yeah.
The woman.
Yeah, woman. You can be.
She tilts her head.
Yes. Come here so we can. I don't want to leave you here.
Group hug.
The woman looks towards the group and she will scoot towards Kenna.
Ah, good.
Ugh.
She seems
Alright.
to like you. What's that for? She's just a Tavinta.
Oh, stupid Tavinter.
Nothing bad ever happened there.
Alright.
No,
Kenna's gonna
like that's the truth, but
she's gonna usher her bear to the center of the room and stand there, waiting for everyone else.
Yeah, okay, she'll do that.
You should probably come close too.
Helicer goes, and both of your marks start to tingle.
Yeah.
Definitely, again, it's not a unpleasant feeling.
It's just weird.
It's just weird.
I think it feels good.
And Kenna thinks it feels good.
Yeah, Hugh, you should probably get close too.
Hugh will close too, but that doesn't affect the marks in any way
Right.
when he does. And Andrea, you're there too?
I'm gonna walk right over, yeah.
Okay. As you guys get closer to the center of the room, the tingling intensifies as each person gets closer. I think the only person who hasn't approached is Theobin and Cedric, I think.
Yep.
Theobin's kind of watching what everyone else is doing, and so how's this supposed to work? He asks Andrea. Do we have to have our marks touching, or are we just hoping that it generates enough power to fly us out of here?
I don't know. We're all pretty close now.
Not Theoben and Cedric.
He's moving closer to the circle in the center.
You start to move closer, and again, your mark starts to react, and the only person who is outside of the group is Cedric.
Yes, I don't want to feel
Come
that
along.
sensation again.
If this is the only way out, then come.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a source of food in here. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, Hugh says.
True.
I
But
like him.
know that I don't like this. And I'm only doing it so I can help Hugh out.
Thank you.
And he'll walk to the center.
When he walks to the center, all of your marks, again, are supercharged with a rush of energy. And then right in front of you, as Andrea predicted, emerges some sort of portal-looking thing. A shimmering-looking portal. That did something, Hugh said.
Do we go through?
Well, it's better than here. Cedric
Sure.
will walk through.
So we
Yeah.
won't gather to the side, but we'll go through a magical door.
Yeah, she'll go through. Why not? Maybe that's a reason.
You guys will make your way through the door, and we will end the session there.